Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Joshua Biller, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the airplane and how it's transformed into what we see today. For even before the Wright brothers, aircraft had become the quickest, most used, and most reliable transportation in world history. For many centuries, humans have tried to fly like the birds. Wings have been made out of feathers and even lightweight wood strapped to the human arms to try to show their ability to fly. The results were often disastrous, if not fatal. The muscles of the human arm are not like a bird's and nor can act like one. Since the invention of the aircraft, things like mail, people, and animals can now fly around the world in less than a day. This has helped the military, people with fatal injuries who are trying to get to a special hospital, or just people going on vacation trying to get from point A to point B. I have been fascinated by aircraft, military, commercial, and even spacecraft my entire life. Been collecting and reading about airplanes, and I've had the opportunity to work as an aircraft mechanic in the military, and even today as a civilian, as I'm an A&P and an avionics manager working on many different airframes. The story and the invention of the airplane begins in the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries, with the first serious research into aerodynamics. The study of the forces operating on a solid body, for instance, a wing and a stream of air. Leonardo da Vinci, Galileo Galilei, Christine Hughes, and Isaac Newton all contributed to the understanding and the relationship between resistance, which is drag, and such factors as the surface area of an object exposed to a stream and density of a fluid. The Wright brothers used these ideas to start developing what was called the Wright Flyer. Orville and Wilbur Wright were not the first people who attempted flight, but they did have the first powered, sustained, and controlled airplane. This means they had built an aircraft that had pitch, roll, and yaw that would help control an airplane around all axes to help prevent crashing. The Wright Flyer was powered by a 12 horsepower engine designed by Charles Taylor, which would be equivalent to about a current day lawnmower. The obstacles that Orville and Wilbur had managed to accomplish allowed so many new advancements later on in the future. Upon and after World War I, monoplane designs were being produced as well as more powerful piston engines used for heavier payloads and more maneuverability. New engine styles started being produced as well, such as rotary engines, V-type engines, and inline piston engines. After World War I, airplanes started advancing quickly from people with new ideas, like turning old bombers, which could carry heavy bombs, into passenger planes that could fly people or mail from place to place. By 1824, Coast to Coast Airmail Service had developed using light beacons to guide open cockpit planes at night. This saved time by 3 days compared to delivery by railways. This also allowed a distinct impact on expediting clearance of checks, interest-bearing securities, and other business paper with time-sensitive value in transfer between business and financial institutions. 1938, the first pressurized aircraft was built called the Boeing 307 Stratoliner. It was able to fly up to 20,000 feet elevation and had a cabin altitude of 8,000 feet. Having a pressurized cabin now meant people could fly above weather, providing faster and smoother ride for the 33 passengers it could carry. One of the next biggest things that happened in aviation came the invention of the jet engine. The first jet engine was designed by a man named Hans von Hohenheim. He was from Germany. This engine was installed in the HE-178 airplane, made the world's first jet-powered aircraft flight on August 27, 1939. With aviation booming and now turbine engines being produced, departments of safety quickly reducing risk of flying, people were traveling more by air than anything else. In fact, by 1953, domestic airplanes reported more passenger miles than railroad travel. As airplanes have advanced, so has the electronics, or should I say avionics, that have gone into them. First, with magnetic compasses and gyros used for attitude and direction to navigate. To present-day aircraft, they use GPS, which uses signals from satellites and radio navigation such as VOR stations to navigate. Instead of analog, we now use what we did call steam gauges. We now have solid state and digital electronic instruments. Airplanes today can even transmit signals to maintenance behind the scenes to let them know what's wrong before the plane even lands. To make faster, more efficient ways to provide maintenance and have the least downtime as possible. These systems have saved millions of dollars across the board. As you can see, we have come a long way, with first learning the aerodynamics to now flying hundreds of people around the world every single day. I hope you enjoyed this speech. Thank you.